Hey, Marcus, you ready for the video feed? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Region 9 basketball here on News Radio 890 94.9 KDXU, also on CEC TV. We're streaming you at you live. You can go to sportsradio977.com, live on television, CEC TV on TDS cable. We've also got the stream on YouTube. There's a lot of ways you can access this game. I don't know if that's a simulcast or triple cast or quadruple cast or how many casts are out there, Rustin, but we're casting all over the place as the Warriors get ready to take on the Cedar Reds here on all these broadcast venues.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was never much of a fisherman, so this is probably the best way to cast. And I'm just excited for another night of Region 9 basketball, AG. We keep saying all season long how blessed we are, and it's certainly not an understatement that we get to watch these kids compete, and especially that we get a game as hyped and as good as the potential that this one has.
Our game is brought to you by Sullivan Homes. You know, you only build your dream home one time. That's why you need it done just right. Visit sullivanhomes.com today to find out how to do that. And pregame brought to you by Interior Design Center. Like them on Instagram to see some of the stylish looks, or visit interiordesigncenter.com. Well, we had our Region 9 live, so if you didn't get a chance to catch some of that, we broke down this matchup. We're going to break it down some more. Snow Canyon Warriors coming off a loss 76-68 at the hands of Crimson Cliffs right here in this building. You and I actually were over there, straight across. We're on the other side of the concourse up here, but we got to witness a very good Crimson Cliffs team get a road win against Snow Canyon. As for the Cedar Reds, double overtime heartbreaker. They score with under 10 seconds left. You think they got it won. Mason Landeck, though, the player of the year maybe, 50-point night as he helped Desert Hills to that 101-100 double OT win. How can you bounce back from losses for Snow Canyon, a home loss, for Cedar, a heartbreaker?
Well, I think the best thing about losses is that there's always a lesson, and there's lesson in wins too, right? But for Snow Canyon and Cedar, two teams that are incredibly good at adapting and starting to make those proper changes, I think those losses prevent an ideal situation of what needs to work. For Snow Canyon on one hand, you go from playing Crimson Cliffs to playing Cedar, and the reality of it is, at least from a scoring perspective, they're very similar teams. The Mustangs shoot the three a heck of a lot more, but they're both looking to score in very similar fashion. So for Snow Canyon, you go to the paint and you say, all right, this is where Felder hurt us, this is where Eaton hurt us, this is where Cedar's gonna try to hurt us, and that's what you focus on. For Cedar, on the other hand, you look at yourselves and say, man, we took Desert Hills, the #1 team in the region, the #1 team in RPI, to double overtime without Trayton Tebbs and without Luke Armstrong, and they were lucky to beat us. And that's the mindset Cedar would have. And so you come into this game with that loss confident. I guarantee this is probably more confident than we've seen this Reds team all year. I know their record wouldn't show it. I know they want a nicer record, especially a Region 9 record. But this is a Cedar team who hasn't been healthy, they haven't been lucky, and they know something's got to change here soon.
One thing we talked about during Region 9 Live, and I'll bring it up again, I hate to, but the loser of this basketball game, Snow Canyon Cedar, is going to be 4-4 in region play. They'll be 500. Yep. And as you said, you didn't mince words, but it's true. The Region 9 title is probably toast if you lose tonight.
It really is. 4-4 is, in this region where 5 teams are all feel like they have a chance to win a state championship, 4-4 is not going to get you to the top. And we're already starting the second half of Region 9 play. These teams played each other earlier this year on January 6th, so not even that long ago. was it that these two teams ended up facing each other. So I'm excited to see what changes are made, because whoever's going to come out of this and avoid that 4-4 record is going to be the team that learned the most from their loss just 2 nights ago.
And the team that maybe still has a shot at a region title.
Correct.
It's hard to think that Desert Hills or Dixie would have 3 losses, but it could happen. And if you can stay at 3 the rest of the way, you got a chance to win a championship. Remember, we're only at halfway. There's 7 region games left, a chance to really establish who you are. And then beyond that, of course, it's RPI era. That means that everybody's in the playoffs, and it doesn't matter if you finish 4th or 5th or 3rd or 2nd or 1st. You still have to prove it on the court. You can maybe get a first-round bye, maybe get a favorable home game in the 2nd round, but eventually, up in Richfield on March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, you got to prove it on the court.
You really do. And just a couple nights ago, we were looking at the Region 9 standings and saying, oh, shoot, you got Crimson Cliff, Snow Canyon, Cedar all at 4-2. Tonight's the night we see some separation. Well, that was the case for Crimson Cliffs. For these 2 squads tonight, not a whole lot of separation yet, but this game will truly kind of be, it'll point an arrow in which team is probably going to continue to rise up the region standings and which one might stay stagnant. So I'm incredibly excited for tonight.
Let's talk about the keys to the game, brought to you by Camping World in St. George. Your 2021 adventure starts at Camping World STG. Find huge selection of all the top brands, sales, parts, service, and a full retail store. Visit Camping World St. George, 1500 South Hilton Drive, or go to campingworldstgeorge.com. What are the biggest things that each team needs to do, Rustin, to win this basketball game?
Well, for the visiting Reds coming in at 9-5, 4-3 in region play, I think it goes with the fact that you recognize what Snow Canyon struggled with 2 nights ago, and that was rebounding the basketball. Now, we know we've given hats off to Cedar. They've been more unlucky than they have, more than it's been a talent issue, and they've seemingly missed a player every single game, right? But they average, regardless of that, about 32 boards a game compared to Snow Canyon's 23. And we know Felder and Eaton and Rock Hill, they were crashing the boards all night long for the Mustangs. And ultimately, we talked about how the box score looked even all the way through, especially shooting percentage. The reason that Crimson Cliffs was able to pull away is because of second chance opportunities. And that's what Cedar has to seek tonight. They have to seek those rebounds, crash the board, send one guy back, because Snow Canyon's probably not going to try to push the pace unless it's off a turnover. Send one guy back, and everyone else crashes the boards, try to capitalize on those second chance points. Other than that, though, we talked about Gage Savage for Cedar. With absences and focus on Grant, Gage has 30 points and 17 points in the last 2 games. He's been tearing it up. Utilizing him, regardless of who plays, is going to be absolutely key. You take Dallin Grant, you take Trayton Tebbs, you take guys like that who can score, and Zab Santana, and then you mix in Gage Savage. There's not a lot of people stopping this offense. So those are the 2 keys for Cedar. For the home team, Snow Canyon Warriors AG, it's ball movement. Last time these squads matched up, January 6th, Snow Canyon only had 5 guys score. Now, it's not necessarily uncommon in Region 9 to only have 5 guys score. There are nights where Dixie wins and only has 5 guys score. It's not necessarily a negative thing, but when trying to keep pace against teams like Crimson, against teams like Cedar here tonight, it's a big deal to share the ball around. So, for example, you got to move it around until it's right. You just have to have that patience that we've seen Snow Canyon. There were multiple times where they were patient in their last game on Wednesday, and it benefited them, where they moved the ball around incredibly well. Last key, you have to protect. The percentages of the Crimson Cliff Snow Canyon game last time they played were so close. On Wednesday, we're so close. 10 versus 9 threes, 22 versus 25 field goals made. It was so tight in every situation. So taking care of the basketball is going to be big for Snow Canyon, because another reason why Crimson Cliffs was able to pull away, turnovers, sloppy play here and there. And so I think for Snow Canyon tonight, recognizing that you have to protect not only the boards, but also the ball is going to be crucial for the home team.
And a lot of them were live ball turnovers.
They were.
Not stepping out of bounds or traveling, but actually turning the ball over, and those led to easy baskets for Crimson Cliffs in the run-out. All right, time for our Sports Clip Star Watch. No appointment necessary. Walk-ins always welcome at Sports Clips. Ask for the MVP treatment. That includes a haircut, hot steam towel, and massaging shampoo. Be sure to stop in for your MVP treatment at Sports Clips. Hey, it's good to be a guy. Who's our stars tonight?
Ooh, we got plenty of stars tonight on both sides of the ball, but we've talked so much about Gage Savage that it's actually not common to go back to someone like Dallin Grant coming off a 22-point performance. But I'm going to bypass With Savage, I'm going to bypass Grant because I see someone out there warming up who did not get to play against Desert Hills who would have loved to. That is number 25, Trayton Tebbs. He's my star watch for the visiting Reds. You look at his statistics on the year, AG, when he's been able to be on the floor, averaging near 16 points a game. He makes nearly 2 3-pointers a game. In fact, he has 26 of them on the year. Tebbs is a guy tonight who's really going to try to take things over, and he's just excited to be back. Trayton Tebbs is my star watch in that regard. For Snow Canyon, well, we already talked a little bit about Lyman Simmons in Region 9 Live, but stepping away from the big man, I want to focus on Blake Munson. Blake Munson is a guy who actually had a pretty decent game in that loss to Crimson Cliffs, had 16 points. He had 2 threes, 4 assists. His shooting percentage wasn't the prettiest because he had to put up some really tough shots while Snow Canyon was trying to climb out and get back in that game. But Munson has improved his scoring, his shooting. Everything seems to get better game by game for Blake Munson, who right now currently is averaging 10.43 points per game. He's got 22 triples on the year, and I really like Munson, not only for his scoring ability, but also because he leads the team in assists.
Night before last, Blake Munson ended up with, looks like 16 points. He had, in the fourth quarter, 10 of his 16. He had a pair of 3-pointers. Wasn't great from the line, only 2 out of 4 from the line, but he helped lead the comeback as the Warriors climbed back in that. They got down by as many as 16 in the third quarter, got within 5 late in the game, turned the ball over. Otherwise, maybe they have a shot to make it a one-possession game. But again, both these teams coming off a loss. Cedar, a double overtime road game at Desert Hills High School. Like you said, that's one of those good news, bad news games.
Yeah.
Hey, we played the number 1 team in the state, wire to wire, into double overtime. We really did a great job. Oh, yeah, but we lost. So, a tough deal for Cedar. It'll be interesting to see who is going to be out there and getting the job done. I like seeing Trayton Tebbs out there. He's one of our, in our media day, he's one of those guys that was out there getting it done off the court with the microphone. I am not seeing Luke Armstrong out there, are you?
I'm not. I've had my eye look, and I saw Tebbs, and I was like, all right, they're both back, but I don't see Armstrong. And in a game against Lyman Simmons, that's not an ideal situation.
Have to battle the big guy. That's going to be obviously a tough job. Ooh, somebody just shined a light on us.
Starting lineups, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready for the starting lineup. I'm kind of stalling a little bit because right about now we usually have our national anthem, but it doesn't look like there's any movement down there by the scorers table. So we'll continue with what we're doing. Again, our pregame brought to you by Interior Design Center. Like them on Instagram to see some of the stylish looks, or visit interiordesigncenter.com. You can Google them. It'd be an easy find for you. And our title sponsor is Sullivan Homes. You only build your dream home just the one time, Russ, and that's why you need to get it done just right. Visit sullivanhomes.com today to find out more. Again, I reiterate, the loser of this game will be 4-4, 8 games into a 14-game region season. You could just about kiss the region championship goodbye if you lose this game. It's still going to be tough even if you win this game because you'll have 3 losses. But the loser of this game probably not going to win a region title, especially when you consider the teams between them and the top would be, Crimson, Dixie, Desert Hills. So a big night, a separation night perhaps, upper echelon between Snow Canyon and Cedar High School.
And the last time these guys played, speaking of separation, there really wasn't a whole lot of it till the fourth. It was a game of runs, and I'm trying to think of any trends that might carry over in this one in particular. That game, Gage Savage was actually the leading scorer, which we've seen him do the last couple games. He had 19, and then all of a sudden down Grant with 13. Snow Canyon kind of held him in check, and this is one of the games where the Warriors realized their defensive potential. Simmons had 18 and 8 rebounds. Paredes had 14 and knocked down 4 threes. Based on those stats, I'm kind of expecting similar results tonight, maybe with Grant scoring to go up a little bit, and maybe someone like Blake Munson, who had 6 points the last time they played, his scoring to go up a little bit.
It is Snow Canyon. It is Cedar. They get ready to battle here from the jungle live at Snow Canyon High School. We are, a little bit behind time as the JV game went a little bit long. It was a Snow Canyon junior varsity win. We get ready for the starting lineups here at SCHS. Coach Doug Meacham will not be with us tonight. Coach Meacham tested positive for COVID-19 earlier this week and not allowed to be around. Obviously, he's doing the whole quarantine thing Kenny Cundy will assume the coaching duties here as the head man for Snow Canyon High School. Kenny, Kenny coaches other sports. He's the head girls soccer coach, and they won state championships behind Kenny Cundy. So this is a guy that knows what he's doing. Maybe not a head basketball guy, but he's certainly a guy who's been around the block and knows what he's doing. They've unfurled the stars and stripes out in front of us. We've got our national anthem coming up here from Snow Canyon High School. 2-minute timeout. When we come back, the Sky Mountain Golf Course starting lineup. Stay with us.
There's a rush coming.
Let's rush best 9 plays from last week in Region 9. Number 1 better be good.
One-handed grab, and Luke Wright is going to score a touchdown on one of the better grabs you'll ever see in high school football.
Lawrence, are you going to do anything, or are you just going to sit there?
This is Henry Bouchard, Cape Girardeau, Missouri. I never found a customer base more in need of fine American-made sucking power than I found up and down the Wasatch Front in the mid-1980s.
There's one thing coaches love, it's media guys telling them how good or bad their team is.
My pick for the 4A state championship this year when it comes to football is the Stansbury Stallions.
Give me a break. This isn't a contest about who can shovel the most corn silage. I like Pine View.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. So if you're looking for me, then you better look down where there's tall palm trees and shopping sprees. Sip my ties and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Welcome back. Let's get our Sky Mountain Golf Course starting lineup, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on my flashlight here so I can see. Starting for Cedar High School, number 3 is Gage Savage. 30 points in that double overtime game on Wednesday night for a guy that averages now 10 points a game. Getting the start in place of Luke Armstrong, the senior post, not able to go, COVID positive, and so no Luke Armstrong tonight. They'll start another guard, Ty Harrison. Harrison does average 6 points a game. He has 23 pointers this season. Number 24, well, he's the Utah State signee, the D1 athlete. His name is Dallin Grant. They call him Big Red, big red-headed, tall Dallin Grant, averaging 19 points a game. Not really a three-point guy. He makes about 1 a game.
Yeah, and Grant really doesn't have to be a three-point guy. He's known for his athleticism, being able to cut. He's coming off a game where he was on fire from deep, but his main threat is right around that rim.
Number 25 is Trayton Tebbs. Tebbs averaging 15 points a game. He makes about 2 3-pointers a contest. And number 35, Zab Santana. Santana is just a junior for this Cedar Reds team. On the other side, by the way, Cedar coming off, of course, that loss in double overtime to Desert Hills. 9-5 overall, 4-3 in Region 9 play. Snow Canyon 11-4 overall and 4-3 in Region 9 play as well. They'll counter with number 10, Walker Morrison. Number 1, Lincoln Pilatus. Lincoln is a senior shooting guard, 35 threes on the year for Pilatus. Number 12 is Blake Munson. He's the point guard, averaging 10.6 a game. He's got 22 threes this year. Number 20, the big fella, Lyman Simmons. And number 22 is Will Warner. At your Sky Mountain Golf Course starting lineup. Again, hit it to the sky, the beautiful Sky Mountain Golf Course. Call for a tee time tomorrow at 635-7888. Ready for the tip, the Simply Wisdom Teeth opening tip. Rustin, real quick thought before we tip it.
I like the idea to go to Ty Harrison in the starting lineup. This is going to spread the floor out, maybe pull someone like Lyman Simmons away from the hoop, allowing Cedar to get to the rim.
Toss is up, and it actually kind of went Grant's way, and then Grant said thank you and tips it to his teammate, and we are underway. Cedar and Snow Canyon as Harrison drives the baseline, reverse layup, up and in. How about that? The guy gets the starting nod and makes the first bucket.
And he may be starting tonight, but Harrison's always had that attack mentality. He only averages around 6 a game like you mentioned, but man, can he score.
On the left side is Munson, looks inside for the big fella, can't get it to him. Grant is actually running the center in the 2-3 zone. Actually man-to-man now. Simons backs him down, kicks it back outside. 3 is up and good. Walker Morrison from deep.
Big hit. That's a Team D3 from Walker Morrison. He'll give you about 2 of those a game.
Hard drive, lefty scoop, in and out, no good. Can't get the roll for Gage Savage. And Snow Canyon on the glass, leading at 3-2, 1 minute now into the contest. Munson kicks to Palladas. Palladas for 3, too hard. Rebound as Lyman Simmons takes it away from Grant. And Snow Canyon will reset. Man-to-man defense for Cedar. Munson drives in the lane, cut off, hands the ball off to Brenton Childs. Childs drives in the lane, traveled, got away with it, threw the ball away. Picked off by Cedar. Cedar on the run. Up and under move by Tibbs is no good, but a foul. And Blake Munson will pick up the personal.
It's just Cedar's defense being aggressive. Childs got a little deeper than he thought he was going to initially. Ends up having to cough that ball up, and then Tibbs pushing it ahead, drawing contact. Hey, G, a matchup I'm keeping an eye on. You talked about Grant as Tibbs sinks that first Fabulous Freddy's free throw. I'm really, really curious to see Grant up against Lyman Simmons. Dallin Grant, remember, he fouled out in that double overtime loss, and so he's going to have to be cautious against Snow Canyon star player down on the block. They need him in the game.
Tibbs hits a pair of free throws, 4-3, Cedar on top. But we expect a little bit of a shootout here. We'll see if it comes to pass. It seems like it so far. High pass to Munson. Thought about the 3. The sophomore says no. Instead, he goes to the other sophomore, Lyman Simmons. Simmons tries to tip it out as the ball was knocked away, and he does get it off of a Cedar player, Harrison. It'll be Snow Canyon ball.
So far, anytime Lyman's gotten the ball in the post, he hasn't necessarily looked to score it yet.
Yeah, he's not yet. Maybe thinking about using that as a decoy, the kick out for the 3, perhaps.
It definitely worked for Morrison's first hit, and then Palladas got a decent look at it, but
Munson drives, he's cut off, gives it back outside to Morrison, back to Munson, long 3, rattles it home. A Team D Auto 3 back-to-backers for Snow Canyon. They lead at 6-4.
I feel like Blake Munson gets a little further and further away from the three-point line every game we see. That's his 23rd triple of the year.
Big Red, Grant drives, gives it to Santana. Stop and pop, 16-footer, bottom of the barrel for Zab Santana.
And Zab's such a player who anytime he's out there, you can see the emotion that he plays with. I mean, just a simple pull-up jumper, something that's his bread and butter. He's kind of flexing down the floor. He loves the game of basketball.
6-6 is our count. Walker Morrison hands off to Lincoln Palladas, working the man, looking inside for the big guy. They give it to Lyman Simmons. Faces up. Bumped by Grant. No harm, no foul, says the official. Grant tips it away. Could have been a foul maybe. No call. They get the ball ahead. Layup up and good as Cedar gets the fast break, crippled by Trayton Tibbs.
I know everyone was following the ball there, but that was a beautiful pass from Gage Savage. Kind of wrapped it around Lincoln Palladas and led Tibbs just enough to get the easy lay-in.
8-6 our early count. Cedar on top. Definitely a high-paced game so far. Munson, beautiful fake. Up and under move. Gets the roll. No, it rolls off to the right. Rebound taken down by Cedar. In the forecourt is Savage. Savage to Grant. Thought about the 3. He's being guarded man-to-man by Palladas. No Luke Armstrong in this game. COVID-19 restrictions. And Grant, stop and pop, 18 over Simmons. It's good, and it's 10-6.
And they like the matchup of Grant out there with Simmons guarding him on the perimeter. You'll notice in Cedar's offensive sets, not a single player down in the paint. All 5 spread around the arc.
Snow Canyon back on the O, working the perimeter, trying to get it inside, and Santana tips it out of bounds. I'm surprised a little that the big guy Simmons has not been a little more aggressive about going to the hoop. He has not hadn't attempted a shot yet.
Well, he had one poked out of bounds earlier, and then the second time a steal from Grant, and you can't let that get in his head this early on in the game. Felder affected him a bit with Crimson Cliffs, and it really slowed him down.
Isaac Lyon in the game for the first time. Gets it outside to Pilatus, tries a deep three. That's no good. Rebound fought for, and it's going to be Savage coming away with it. With a long blonde, or not long, but the longish blonde mane in the air. Santana gets inside, and we got an injury on the floor. Santana scores, coming down hard for Snow Canyon is Lincoln Pilatus. Grabbed his ankle immediately. And they'll go out and take a look at it. Injury timeout brought to you by Intermountain Sports Medicine. Maybe not as bad as he thought, as he is up and putting a little bit of weight on. That's good news, actually.
That is good news, and he'll go over there to the Intermountain Medicine sports table, and they'll treat him over there. But going back to that scoring play from Santana, AG, that was just a beautiful hesitation move. Kind of starts to drive with the left, has two Warriors pull up on him as we get a great look at it here, courtesy of CECTV. Just lets both guys kind of go by, hesitates, and then goes and finished with the left hand. And certainly hope Pilatus is okay. He's kind of over there leaned on the table at the moment.
I think he thought it was worse than it was, but he's actually standing on both feet.
Yeah.
And maybe he's okay. Santana will get a free throw, and he completes the three-point play. And the Cedar Reds have opened up a 12-6 lead.
Yeah, our first subs of the ball game, Jaron Garrett checking in for the Reds.
Should be 13, by the way. There it is. Yeah, they got that last score. 7-point lead for the Reds. So Canyon still has yet to get the big fella started. He's inside now, and boy, a reach around and no foul call on Grant. That's a bad call in my opinion. Grant reached over Simmons' body to tip it away. Referee let it go. And how about a makeup call? Travel call on Grant.
Well, and Grant has been very physical with Simmons in the post, and obviously that was the mindset where they said, Dallin, you're going to be the one on the lineman, and he's had some hands everywhere, and so far the referee is letting him play that way, which personally I kind of enjoy. Much better than
I enjoy the physicality, but when you reach over a guy to tip it away, that's a foul every time in my book because you have to go over his body to touch the ball. That's why I didn't like the call. And being a big guy, I can relate to that. I hate that. On the move, Snow Canyon as they run the motion offense. Outside is Munson. Munson, the sophomore, crosses over. Now backs away from trouble. Munson drives all the way in the lane in traffic. Tried to look like maybe pass it over to Simmons or shoot, depending on what the ref interprets here. He is fouled.
Blake Munson's one of those players who's so tough to stay in front of. You watch him dribble the basketball and watch the way he moves with it. As a defender, you don't know if he's going right, you don't know if he's going left. Right there, didn't like the initial look, backs it out, and then attacks again, and it results in the first free throw being good.
A three now, a free throw for Munson. He's got 4 points early going here. It's 13-7, 3.5 to go in the first. On our one-loss scoreboard, we're going to keep it right here as we go for the second half of the free throw, and that is in and out, no good. Grant on the glass. The score remains a 6-point lead for Cedar. Savage in the forecourt. Leaves it a little step away. Three-pointer attempted by Cedar is up and no good. Tebbs tried it. And Snow Canyon on the glass. Simmons with the picks. Can he roll? Nope, no roll there. Back outside, a long three by Isaac Lyon is good. Team Diotto three for Isaac.
I thought Isaac had such a great game against the Mustangs. 9 points for him, and I feel like his shot is growing more and more confident as the season goes by.
They might have to put him in the starting lineup if he keeps playing this well. Tebbs, little hesitation move, and while he was hesitating, both of his feet were moving. The referee says, nope, you can't do that. And that's a turnover. 13-10 is the count. 3 minutes now left in quarter number one. A pretty entertaining game so far between Cedar and Snow Canyon.
It absolutely has been. I mean, we've already seen a little bit of everything going
Except
on.
a dunk. We haven't seen a
Except for
dunk yet.
Yep,
We've got to see a dunk.
That's true. That's true.
And I know there's guys
It'll
that can throw it down out there. Simmons and Grant, the foremost among those. Snow Canyon back on the offense now. Blake Munson, crossover, step back three, little long, no good, and a rebound. Good box out by Big Red Dallin Grant. Grant keeps the dribble into the forecourt. Hits it off to Savage. Savage kick in the corner. Long three out of the corner, too hard. Simmons on the glass. Simmons looking for Munson, finds him as he comes down the left side of the court across the timeline. Right side to Lyon. Is Lyon feeling it? Drives all the way in. Scoop shot, no good. No harm, no foul, but an offensive rebound by Brenton Childs. Snow Canyon back on the offense, and there's that same hesitation shuffle move. The referees aren't letting them get away with that one today. That was Will Warner on the travel.
Well, they may not be calling anything in the post, AG, but they're certainly keeping an eye on that pivot foot, aren't they?
They are. So not a timeout here, just a dead ball situation. It's 13-10. Been that way for about a minute. with 2:10 to go in the quarter. Cedar brings a couple of subs into the game. Number 14 is Jaron Garrett, the quarterback on the football team. Gets it ahead to Tebb. Tebbs to Grant. Grant bodied up by Lyon. Backs his way down, much bigger than Lyon. Looking for help on the triple team, and a reaching foul called on the Warriors. I think they got Childs.
That's what it looks like. And you talked about a couple subs coming in. One of those guys is Aaron Munson for the Reds. He's coming off a really solid game in that loss to Desert Hills where he had 12 points. His playing time, of course, has increased during absences. So keep an eye on number 5 for Cedar.
Pick and roll. Santana uses a pick from Grant. Instead, he kicks in the corner. 3 out of the corner is no good. Nice box out by Warner. Warner on the run, but it's a 1-on-5, and he's going to slow it down as they get it to Munson. Haven't got Simmons going yet. You wonder when that's going to happen. Lyon, though, will jack a deep 3. That's no good. No conscience for Boo. Isaac Lyon from the deep ball. No good. Here comes Cedar. Hard drive and a kick out. 3-pointer Santana. That's no good. Good hands by Lyman Simmons in heavy traffic to get the rebound. Snow Canyon had numbers because they had triple team Lyman Simmons, but they couldn't take advantage. Now back out to Isaac Lyon. Looks inside. They finally get it to Simmons. Let's see if he has a post move in him. Here comes the double team. Dribbles away from it. In the lane. Has to kick it outside to Munson. At a minute now to go in the first quarter. Trying to get Munson on the cut. He does save the ball on the sideline. Was he pushed? Yeah, foul called on Tebbs.
There it is. No.
No technical, just a reach on Trayton Tebbs. Fans over here wanted something else called, like maybe out of bounds, but we're on the visitor side here. We're opposite where we were on Wednesday night. A little different perspective. We can see the coaches now a little better. Coach Espin for Cedar. Coach Kenny Cundy taking over for Coach Doug Meacham, who is out. COVID-19 protocol. All right, Snow Canyon on the offense. Isaac Lyon playing a little motion to Childs. Childs gets it over to Will Warner. Warner back to Munson on the angle left. He drives in the lane. Stop. Can't get a shot away. Back to Warner. Warner for 3. In and out. No good. Rebound taken down by Gage Savage. Savage nearly lost it. Saved it. Gets it ahead to Grant. Grant in the forecourt. Tries to break through the double team. Little Euro step to Santana. Santana pops from 15. That's no good. Long rebound. Stolen out of there and then saved by Cedar. Bodies all over the place, but the Reds come away with the basketball. They get it to Big Red Grant. Grant throws it inside to Santana. Santana will drive in. Nice little body control off the glass and good. And finally a basket at 15-10.
Yeah, Cedar needed that right there. Last 5 seconds coming up here for Snow Canyon.
Warriors trying to get a shot away. Munson drives all the way in. Triple team. And the shot is blocked. No chance for the little guy in amongst the trees. That's blocked out of there. After one quarter here from Snow Canyon High School, it's the visiting Reds 15 and Snow Canyon 10.
There's a rush coming. Can you feel it? The crowd, the kicks, the hits. Don't hesitate. If you don't know, you better call somebody. This is the Region 9 Rush. Here's your host, Andy, and that dummy robot.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
Welcome back. I got a text from my buddy Darren Cole, who covers Region 9 for Southern Utah now. He tells me that Haley Chesley scored 38 points for Hurricane last night in girls basketball. This morning she tested positive for COVID-19. Won't be able to play in tonight's game. They actually scored 38 on Wednesday, and then she was, last night. Yeah, last night, and now she's COVID-19 out for at least a week.
That's tough to see, but it's a thing like you talked about pre-game. It could end up being a benefactor towards the end of the season, knowing that it's done and dealt with.
Maybe get it early. Maybe that's a good thing. You're right. All right, so Canyon with the basketball. Warriors down by 5 as they work the O. Isaac Lyon looking inside for Simmons. Simmons with Grant on his back. Can he back him down? He does back him down. Now comes a double team. Simmons gets a shot away. No, a pass into the corner. Long three out of the corner. It is up and good by Walker Morrison.
Morrison's second three of the game, right in the face of Gage Savage, and they're not letting Lyman Simmons be aggressive right now, but the ball movement has still been working very well for Snow Canyon.
Cedar on the offense. We've either got a foul or a travel. That is a travel called, as with the ball was Aaron Munson. Kind of crazy. There's 3 Munsons in the region. I don't think I'd ever seen more than one Munson at all. I mean, maybe once or twice in my whole career. There's 3 in the region this year on 3 different teams.
I'll tell you what, it's certainly a unique year, right?
It is. It is a different kind of year. 15-13. Warriors have climbed back to within a basket. Referee says, hold on. What's a hold up? Oh, Cedar wants to make a sub. Big Red will check out with Simmons sitting down, and Ty Harrison back into the game for the Reds. So both Simmons and Grant on the bench right now to take a little bit of a rest. Snow Canyon on the O. Morrison gives it off to Will Warner. Around the horn they go. Munson is out of the game as well. Where's the offense going to come for this team? Isaac Lyon, he's not afraid to shoot, although he doesn't there. Gives it left side to Warner. Excuse me, Morrison. Warner throws it away. Excuse me, I got the name wrong, but the result the same. Will Warner threw it to the Cedar bench.
You can see Warner and Lyon kind of chatting right there, a little miscommunication that allowed that basketball to sail out of bounds. And right now with the Reds offense, they've had a lot of really good looks from beyond the arc. Their last points have come inside though. 3
jacked out of the corner for Cedar. That's up and good, and it's that guy that gets a start for the big fella, Ty Harrison, with his first 3 of the game. That is his 21st 3 of the season, and the lead is back to 5.
Yeah, now 5 points for Harrison as he pokes the ball away, gets a steal.
Yeah, they get it ahead. Savage on the run, 4 on 2, leaves it behind. Now they kick it into the corner. Cedar trying to get a shot away. Harrison gets it inside to Savage. Back outside to Tebbs. Around the horn they go. Harrison looking for help, skips it across. Jump stop, offensive foul, block foul. What's the call?
I think it's a block.
Sand Hollow Resort block charge call, and they're going to call a block on the play. In the game for Snow Canyon is Caleb Anderson, and Anderson's going to be the guy that gets the block foul.
And we get a look at it here, just a quick little sweep going inside. Foreman coming over, Anderson Foreman coming over, and I think they caught him still moving.
Free throw up and good for Aaron Munson. Again, Munson coming off the bench, averages about 5 points a game. He does make the occasional 3. He's got about 1 3 a game. Munson is a junior.
Well, we've got a good glimpse so far of why Snow Canyon's defense is #1 in the region. They're so quick and they move around so fast, but the Reds have done a good job as the second free throw goes down. They've done a good job of basically moving the basketball and then driving and kicking until the open three's there or until they get something inside.
And by the way, you won the chess match. Lyman Simmons got up and went to the scorer's table. As soon as Coach Esplin realized Simmons was coming in, 24 Grant comes off the bench. You know he wants him in to guard the big guy.
Their minutes will mirror each other all night.
So Canyon on the O, down by 7 now, 20-13. They go into Simmons. Simmons backs his way inside and again passes the ball out of the post. A little bit afraid to shoot, it seems like right now.
I don't think he's attempted a shot so far.
Childs has to save the bad pass out on the sideline, looking for help. Gets it to Simmons. Simmons looking for a little bit of help. And there's Morrison. Morrison to Munson. Munson gets a screen from Childs. Munson looking for help, goes back out high. Warriors searching for a shot. They haven't scored in quite some time, down by 20-13 count. Inside to Simmons. Simmons tries to get free. Gets it inside, no, throws it back outside. Nice save by Lyon. Lyon to Childs. He doesn't want to shoot it. Goes back outside to Munson. Used a lot of time on this possession. No shots. There's one now from Lyon for 3 in front of the Cedar bench. It's good.
And Lyon catching and shooting all in the same motion. Very Kyle Korver-esque, if you will. That was very fluid as he hits his second 3 of the night.
20-16. Grant drives on Simmons. Simmons stays with him. Has to give it up out high to Savage. Savage gets a screen from Grant. Stops and pops from 18. Leaves it short. Simmons on the glass. 4:45 left first half, 20-16. Snow Canyon hasn't led except very early in the game at 3-2. Right now they're down by 4.
A big update over there on the Intermountain Sports Medicine table. Paleda's still sitting ankle wrap now.
The teardrop runner is up, no good, and a rebounding foul called on Ty Harrison of Cedar. Childs was the first man to the ball, Brenton Childs.
Childs is always seemingly the first man to the ball. That's what he does. He gets rebounds, he plays defense, and when I say that's about it, I don't mean that lightly. He does it phenomenally.
They do get the ball in. Morrison has it out high to Lyon. Had the three if he wanted it, didn't take it. Goes over to Munson. Now Munson inside to the big fella. Tries the jump hook, and it is blocked by Grant. No harm, no foul maybe. A little body foul, no call. Cedar with the ball and the lead by 4. Tebbs goes to Grant, top of the key, guarded by big Lyman Simmons. Crosses over on him, goes in the lane, and Simmons falls down. They're going to call a blocking foul on Lyman.
How about the ball movement from Grant? We talked about Munson and his ability, but a couple of hesitation moves, a spin move from Grant ends up putting Lyman Simmons on the deck.
That's a tough guard for the big guy, all the way out in three-point land, huh?
Out on the perimeter, that's not where they want him, but it spread the floor out for the Reds incredibly well.
Halfway through the second quarter, Cedar by 4. Grant again with Simmons on him, crosses him over, backs it up, goes out high to Harrison. Harrison drives in the lane, scoop shot up, no good. Is that the second one on Simmons? Let's see.
I think it's going to be. Yep.
Yeah, 2 quick ones on Simmons. He had none at the halfway mark, and in 7 seconds he has 2 fouls.
Well, and this is why we talked about how starting Harrison isn't necessarily a bad thing as his first free throws off the rim, because it spreads the floor out. Simmons had to come back from the corner where Grant was. We get a good look at it here on our TV for our TV audience. Has to come back from the corner to try to contest that shot. Ends up running right into Harrison.
One more coming for Ty. He has a 2, a 3, and now 1 free throw for his 6 points, and it's back to a 5-point Cedar edge. Simmons, by the way, will sit down with those 2 personals. Snow Canyon lacking some depth as they lose a shooting guard, Lincoln Pilatus right now with his shoe off on the bench. Long 3, and that's up and no good by Munson as he slaps his own fist, and man, I should have hit that one. Hard drive by Tebbs. Inside, and it's stolen away. Anticipating the play is Brenton Childs, Mr. Defense himself. They go in the forecourt. Nobody picks up. Munson stop and pop. 15, easy money from the elbow.
And there's no hesitation from Munson. He knows exactly where he's going to pull up with that ball. Recognize no one picks him up. Stops right at the free throw line and knocks it down.
21-18. Cedar by 3 now. They go inside to Grant. Grant double team, gets a shot away. Easy foul call. Take your pick. One guy up high, one guy down low. I think they got Lyon, didn't they?
Yeah, it does look like it's going to be on Isaac Lyon. And we talked about Grant.
No, they do give it to Childs, by the way.
Good call. So Grant right there in particular was going to mirror his minutes with Lyman Simmons. Now with Simmons in foul trouble, that's going to give Dallin Grant a little bit of an edge to maybe do as he wishes, as we see right there. Childs forced to foul.
Yeah, who's going to guard down Grant in the man defense right now? You almost need to maybe switch to a zone and get some help with that. Grant hits the front end and makes it a 4-point lead. Second one is good as well. Dallin Grant in the game, just 4 points so far, with 3 minutes to go in the half.
Only had 13 last time these 2 squads played in Cedar's win.
Long 3 again, Lyon. He falls down on the shot. Referee's not buying it. And a rebound to Grant and company. It's the forecourt on the run. Now they'll back things out. Grant in 3-point land. Stop and pop 3 is no good. And a nice rebound taken down by the Warriors. Little crossover move. And driving all the way in is Childs. Gets a shot, not a good one, but gets it back and puts it up and in. And it's a 3-point game. Brenton Childs with the rare basket.
Harrison jumped out of the gym going for that block there. It allows Childs to sneak right back underneath his shot and lay it up and in. He averages a little under 2 a game.
Oh, he's there now.
He's there now.
Inside they go, backdoor pass and a travel. Yeah, thought he could get a shot away. Grant will dunk it after the fact, but definitely a travel called on number 14, Jaron Garrett.
It was the right move here. Garrett cutting in, and he felt like he had gathered, turns around and puts his hands up like, what did I do?
23-20, 2:15 left in half number 1. Got a good one going on. Not quite as high scoring as we saw with Desert Hill Cedar the other night. In the forecourt, Blake Munson gets a screen from Anderson, can't use it. Back outside, and they swing it around the horn. Catch and shoot 3 by Morrison is no good. Rebound goes to the floor. Snow Canyon and Cedar on the floor, and we're going to have a held ball, a Simply Wisdom Teeth jump ball. Again, thanks so much to Simply Wisdom Teeth. $899 will get you all 4 wisdom teeth extracted. That includes the sedation and a really sweet nurse that will take you out in a wheelchair to your car where your parents will film some really mean video of you high. It
always happens, guaranteed. That's right now, Snow Canyon going with guys like Anderson Foreman, Will Warner, kind of digging into that bench.
Travel called on Grant, but I thought you could have called him easily for an elbow offensively twice. He threw the elbow on Anderson Foreman, and referee doesn't call a foul, but he does call the turnover, and it's Snow Canyon ball going with it. Quite a bit different lineup, trailing by just 3. No Pilatus. No Lyman Simmons. Of course, he's got foul situations. No Isaac Lyon. Munson has it now. Gets a screen from Anderson Foreman. Goes baseline. Morrison had a 3. Excuse me, not Morrison. That was Will Warner. Now they go baseline. Kick out, and throwing it away is Childs. Cedar on the run. 3-on-3. They go with a trailer. It's a 3 up and short. No good. Rebound, though, taken down by Cedar. Gage Savage had a good look at it. Couldn't get it to go. Goes outside to Tebbs, and they'll reset the offense. Grant drives baseline. Here comes a double team. Steps under it. Reverse layup. No good. Offensive rebound to Savage, and he can't put it in either. And finally, Snow Canyon and Brenton Childs able to clear it away with under a minute to go.
Yeah, Cedar's starting to attack the basket a little bit more with Simmons on the bench, but there, Savage couldn't finish off the offensive rebound, and Grant couldn't finish on the pretty reverse move.
Munson gives it up with the basketball as Will Warner, number 22. He goes to Walker Morrison. Morrison cut off, gives it to Childs. Childs lost it, and then just a real overly aggressive foul called on Grant. They had fouls to give. That's only the 4th team foul for Cedar.
And you've been watching Dallin Grant all night long. He's been the aggressor, whatever it may be, whether he's getting through screens, whether he's picking at the basketball. He's a very, very fast, quick-moving hands, and that time they're going to catch him in the act.
You'll be surprised when I tell you who the leading scorer is in the first half here. We'll talk about that in a minute as we head toward the Info West halftime report. Simmons back in for this last offensive possession with 25 seconds to go. It looks like Snow Canyon is going to try to hold for one. It's a gamble by Coach Cundy to get your star in because he could pick up that 3rd foul. We'll see what happens. Snow Canyon working the O. 14 seconds to go. Munson's got it. Gets the separation. Drives to the right side, stops and pop from 18. Shot no good. Simmons could have gotten over the back call, nothing there. They go ahead to Savage. Savage kicks it in the corner. Step back 3-pointer by Tebbs is up and no good. And the half will end a very low-scoring second quarter. And Cedar will go into the locker room with a 23-20 edge. Rustin, your thoughts?
Well, the Snow Canyon Warriors are coming off a game where they tried to match Crimson Cliff's pace. It didn't work. So far, they've forced Cedar into more of their style of basketball, defensive, slug it out style. Of course, that 23-20 score represents that. So you really like the Snow Canyons hanging in this, especially without Lincoln Pilatus. They've had to play a lot of Will Warner here tonight. They've had to play a lot of Anderson Foreman. Simmons in foul trouble, Pilatus injured. So all things considered, Snow Canyon has got to be pretty pleased. But for the Reds, the looks have been there. The 3-point shots, they have been there. I mean, the ball movement's been so crisp and clean. They've been open looks. They just haven't been able to convert so far. And for a team that shoots right around 50% from the field, you have to imagine in the second half those shots will start to fall.
How low scoring was the second quarter? Well, the leading scorer in this game didn't score a point in the second quarter. That'll tell you a little bit about that. We'll get to that and more with the Info West halftime report coming up after this 2-minute timeout. It is Cedar by 3.
Asphalt. It's not something we think about much except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
All right, Lawrence, bring it in.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna pancake McKeever.
Okay.
You go to the right hard.
Go to the right.
Full speed.
Yes, full speed.
Don't go full speed in rehearsal.
Yes.
Our ratings are never gonna go up.
Okay, let's put these little babies to bed.
Ready? Break. Hey, Brent, when we're done, you can go back to playing Pokemon with those nerds you hang out with at Snow Canyon.
Ha ha ha, ha ha. Ready. Down. Hot hot.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
But take it away. Great ball game.
Yeah, no, the 23-20 score over there on our one-loss scoreboard reflects that. It has been a defensive slugfest so far, to say the least. And right now what we're looking at is Zab Santana being the leading scorer for this ball game. For Cedar in particular, he's coming off a 24-point performance in that loss to Desert Hills just the other night. And so far he's got 7 as we kind of dive into our Wilkinson statistics here at our halftime show. Looking at the Cedar Reds, we talked about Santana. He leads the way with 7. 6 points for Ty Harrison, who got the start tonight in favor of Luke Armstrong. COVID protocols, so the big man, he's not out there. Putting Ty Harrison on the floor has allowed Cedar to have a little bit more flexibility in terms of having Harrison in the corner. It draws Simmons out, and that's allowed Cedar to attack the paint a little bit more. So his impact more so than just the 6 points. Aaron Munson has 2. He's coming off a 12-point game against Desert Hills. 4 for Dallin Grant, 4 for Trayton Tebbs, and Tebbs has yet to hit a three-pointer. In fact, the only three-pointer that went down the barrel tonight for the visiting Cedar team was a 3 from Ty Harrison, which he knocked down there in the second quarter. Cedar is a team that shoots right around 50% from the field, and you have to imagine that this second half is going to be a little bit better for them. They're 51% on the year, to be exact. They're about a 36% three-point shooting team. So for scoring averages, shooting percentages, they're well below what we're accustomed to. Snow Canyon, on the other side of things, this is pretty much what we're accustomed to, a defensive team who prides themselves on defense, and even this scoring is below average for a Snow Canyon squad in particular. Before we continue on with their Wilkinson statistics, let's jump into some highlights real quick for our TV audience, for our radio audience. We'll do the best we can to get that rolling. Start the ball game out, Harrison getting the start, first offensive possession, a little up and under move, attacks Simmons at the basket. On the other end, Walker Morrison would hit the first of his 2 threes of the night. Here he is facilitating, kicks it out to Munson. Munson from deep. He seems to get a little more range each and every time we see him play. He's been very aggressive tonight for that Snow Canyon team, and we'll get to his statistics in just a moment as we see Zab Santana hit a pull-up jumper and flex all the way back down the floor. Trayton Tebbs on the other end. Gage Savage with the pretty pass, and Tebbs finishing. This is the matchup to watch in the second half. Grant with only 4 points has Simmons on the perimeter, takes one dribble inside, pretty pull-up, able to knock it down. And then it was Santana with the hesitation move. 2 Warriors fly right on by, and Santana able to finish the and one. That was the play where Lincoln Pilatus got hurt. We saw him being taped over there. Isaac Lyon trying to pick up some of that work. He knocks the 3 down as Santana, our leading scorer for Cedar, finishes on the other end. Ball movement from Snow Canyon was big in the first half as Lyon kicks from the corner to Morrison. His second triple. Cedar would answer with a Harrison 3 of their own. Cedar's only 3 of the night. Snow Canyon has plenty, though. One of the 5 threes that they've knocked down, Isaac Lyon from beyond the arc, his second of the night. A turnover from Brenton Childs leads to Munson pushing the ball up the floor. No one picks up Munson in the confusion. Stop, pop, pull up Jay. Nothing but net for Munson. And here's Childs missing on the lay-in, picking it back up and finishing as he catches Harrison in the air. And that's where we currently stand, 20-23. Not a whole awful lot of scoring so far on the Snow Canyon side of the basketball. We're looking particularly at the 3 guys with 6 points apiece. That's Isaac Lyon, 2 threes. That's Walker Morrison, 2 threes. and then that is Blake Munson. Only 1 3, and then a and one opportunity where he missed the free throw and 2 points. Brent Childs has 2. So Lyman Simmons not only scoreless in the first half, Lyman Simmons also has only attempted 1 shot, and that was blocked by Dallin Grant, right to the hands of Dallin Grant. And really, that's all we've seen from Lyman so far tonight. And I'm expecting Simmons to come out and be much more aggressive there in the second half. It's just he's coming off a game against Crimson Cliffs where they kind of stifled him, still ended up with 16 points. And right now for the Warriors, assuming Pilatus is going to be a little hobbled, they've taken the tape off and they've went back to the ice, which is not a positive update for this Snow Canyon squad. So we're going to see more Will Warner. We're going to see more Anderson Foreman. We're going to see a little bit more of the bench. Brenton Childs is going to get a lot more run for this squad. And you look at this team, and they need Lyman scoring. Cedar's not going to stay on pace the first half presented. Snow Canyon, on the other hand, with those injuries, with Simmons struggling, they're going to need to dig deep to find a little bit of scoring. This is, of course, your InfoWest halftime show for the fastest internet in Southern Utah and a local support. Trust the internet people at InfoWest. Go to InfoWest.com to sign up today. Well, you might ask, well, how does Snow Canyon work on that? What are the halftime adjustments coming out here? No Pilatus, Simmons struggling. Where do you go? I mean, Walker Morrison can score, but he's more of a spot-up shooter. You have someone like Isaac Line who can score, but he's a catch-and-shoot type of guy. And ultimately, you look at Blake Munson, and Blake Munson was really, really solid there in the first half, 6 points. Had that nice little pull-up jumper, had an and-one opportunity. Munson's going to be asked to do a lot for this squad until Simmons gets going or until Simmons feels comfortable. Cedar on the defensive end, they're just not allowing that to happen at all. They're pressuring him anytime he gets the ball in the paint. He hasn't felt comfortable all night. You can see it in his face. So you got to get Munson going, and hopefully that allows Cedar to pull up, and then you can get Lyman going on the other end. For the Reds, well, you just keep going back to what's working. Grant hasn't had to be your scorer. Santana hasn't been your scorer necessarily. It's just been an even pace. The shots haven't fallen, but the looks have been there. The same ball movement will do this Cedar squad absolute wonders. So as the clock continues to tick down, we're getting ready for the third quarter of basketball here. And
let me give you a couple scores real quick on the Earth States Hardware scoreboard. At the half, Dixie leading just 24-20 in their contest, as the Flyers, I thought, maybe be a bigger lead than that, but hanging with them, Dixie and Hurricane. That pretty close game. I'm told no Jeffrey Cox and no Isaac Finlinson in that game for Dixie, so definitely shorthanded in that contest.
Yeah, we're starting to see other teams kind of experience what Cedar's been experiencing all year long. So, and of course, what did you say the score was on that one?
24-20 at the half. The other score I had, just a college score, Dixie State is losing by 12 to Cal Baptist tonight. Early second half of that game. Cal Baptist on a 10-0 run right now.
Ooh. Yeah, we're getting ready to go here in the third quarter. 8 minutes up on the Nets on Fire clock. 20-23 is your score. We're going back to AG for the play-by-play.
Blake Munson will bring it across as we go to half number 2. Our game brought to you by the Scott Gibson team at Intercap Landing. Great pass by Simmons, or was it Munson? Anyway, they found Lyon on the baseline, who's starting the second half in place of Pilatus, but Lyon can't hit the reverse layup. 23-20 our count. Gage Savage goes to Tebbs. Tebbs crossover in the lane, kicks it in the corner to Harrison. Back to Tebbs. He's got a three. Shot is away and short. Rebound tipped out of there, and Simmons, who bothered the shot, got the rebound.
Well, Cedar's had about at least 8 looks from that corner spot in the first half. There's another one there. It just hasn't started to fall.
Munson, the kick, and the shot by Lyon is no good. And Simmons on the offensive glass, and quickly a reaching foul on Santana.
And if you're a Snow Canyon fan, you hope even something as simple as an offensive rebound there can kind of wake Lyman Simmons up, get him back in this ball game. Just a nice, strong move over the top of Dallin Grant to give Snow Canyon another possession.
A big number 20, Lyman Simmons, averaging 20 points a game. He has none. No points into the third quarter, being guarded by Dallin Grant. They get it into him, and he hands it off to Munson. Munson peels right to left. Now they go on the baseline. One-on-one coverage in there. Simmons dribbles it off of his knee and out of bounds. Not Simmons' night right now, Rustin.
It really hasn't been Simmons' week. Going back to the Mustang game and then this one, just the tenacity is really lacking. You got to give a lot of credit to the Reds defense. They have absolutely swarmed him. Anytime he feels he has the slightest drop step on someone, there are 3 Cedar jerseys around him. That time gets to him and he loses it out of bounds.
Up high is Savage, gives it to Tebbs. Tebbs top of the key, tries to cross over, gives it back to Savage. Now over to Grant. Grant thought about the 3, now thinks about dribbling on Simmons. And he does cross over, step back 3, shot is up, and bottom of the barrel for the big redhead.
Woo. Dallin Graham, pretty shot. We said that Cedar likes this matchup a lot.
Stop and pop the other way, that's in and out, no good. Rebound taken down by Savage. Cedar with the lead back to 6 points. 3 out of the corner. Harrison, The second and third threes of the game by Cedar will force a timeout by Snow Canyon as that lead has climbed to 9 points. Our timeout brought to you by the Scott Gibson team at Intercap Landing. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Asphalt. It's not something we think about much, except when it's in bad shape. At Holbrook Asphalt, we help cities, HOAs, and businesses avoid replacing painfully expensive roads and parking lots. To avoid the cost of replacing asphalt, you must effectively preserve it while it's still in good condition. University research has shown Holbrook Asphalt's HA5 slows asphalt aging by 67%. We make your pavement assets last longer, cost less to own, all while achieving higher property values. Visit holbrookasphalt.com to discover more.
Welcome back, Andy and Rustin, and I've not seen anybody keep Simmons out of the scorebook this year. He averages 20 a game. When he has a bad game, well, it was a terrible game. He had 16 points the other night. Tonight, no points. I would surmise 3 or 4 turnovers for the big guy. He's got more turnovers than points. If Snow Canyon's going to win this game, Rustin, he's got to show up. They need him.
And if it hasn't been a turnover, it's definitely been at least batted around. Not a confidence-boosting night. And all of a sudden, Cedar's starting to hit those shots that weren't falling in the first.
Lead pass inside by Simmons, now man-to-man as Santana on the defense does a good job against Walker Morrison and gets the rebound. Cedar now can up it to a double-digit lead here. Grant in three-point territory wants to drive on Simmons, and City gives it up to Tebbs. Tebbs drives in there, shoots over the big fella, count it, and a foul on the old Euro step jump stop by Trayton Tebbs.
And this rotation up top of Dallin Grant and Trayton Tebbs has Snow Canyon's defense spinning. This is why it's been so crucial to have Simmons out on the key. Another instance where he's caught dropping back, trying to get back into the paint, and while he's backpedaling, Tebbs easily puts a shoulder into him, draws contact, and finishes, and converts the and one opportunity.
32-20 now. Snow Canyon has not scored here in the third quarter in 2.5 minutes. Without your big guy, you're really hurting. And the big guy will try a 3, and that is in and out, no good. So you've got basically Simmons playing outside of him. So he can hit the 3, but that's not really his game.
That's the only shot he's got tonight that's been a halfway decent look. The other one was blocked. That's only his second shot attempt of the night.
Grant crossover 3 over Simmons, and this thing's starting to get ugly. It's 35-20. Dallin Grant has woken up. He now has 10 points, 6 here in the quarter.
A 12-0 run for Cedar. Snow Canyon has not scored since the start of the third quarter.
Lyon gives it inside to Childs. Childs drops it off, push, and a late call, but a good call on the push by Ty Harrison.
Well, we talked a little bit about it at halftime, but with Simmons struggling, I mean, Blake Munson's got to be the guy who's going to get you those points. We see a little arm on the back there as they give the foul to Harrison.
Just under 5 minutes left, third quarter, and again, a 12-0 run. They get it into Simmons. Simmons is mauled by Grant, and they call a foul finally.
That's going to be Dallin's second. Foul out against that game at Desert Hills, the double overtime game.
I think he made it to the second overtime, though, before he got that 5th foul.
You're right.
2 seconds went off the clock, 4:57 now as they get it back into Simmons. Simmons drops it off to Munson. Munson stop and pop from 10 foot, too far, and a rebound to Savage. 35-20 Cedar. Snow Canyon can't buy a bucket. They go to Grant. Grant drives in the lane. He's cut off by Simmons. A shot blocked by Simmons. Offensive rebound to Savage. Out of bounds, they're going to say off of Walker Morrison. It'll be Reds ball. Cedar right now enjoying a 15-point lead.
Well, and you talk about Snow Canyon not being able to buy a bucket. I mean, they barely got a look at a bucket. It's been a lot of turnovers. It's been a lot of sloppy, inconsistent play. Not only are they not getting shots to go down, they're barely getting shots at this point.
Coach Cundy and company go with a sub in, Foreman Anderson in, as he's trying to guard Grant, and no chance there to keep up with him. All he can do is foul, and Grant will go to the line as Anderson Foreman gets a foul.
And Grant so shifty. He's already hit a couple of threes out on the perimeter, so you're worried about that, and then he goes and puts you in the spin cycle, throws you off balance.
Second foul on Anderson Foreman. Free throw for Grant. First one pretty ugly, no good.
We get a good look at it here. That's Anderson Foreman out there having to be the main guy on him with Lyman Simmons on the bench.
Second free throw much better. It's good. 11 now for Grant, and the lead is up to 16. Snow Canyon needs some offense. They need a bucket. Lyon drives baseline. He has a bump. No harm, no foul on Tebbs. They go to Morrison. Morrison on the angle right. Wants to drive in Santana. Can't get a shot away. Snow Canyon will reset. Lyon drives in. Gets it back outside as they swing it around the horn to Warner. Will drives in the lane. Hands the ball off to Morrison. Morrison can't get a shot away. Steps under, probably traveled, got a scoop shot to go. Whatever it takes, right?
Yeah, that's what they need. That's their first points here with 4 minutes on our Nets on Fire clock. First points of the half.
Grant stop and pop three, and he is in fuego. The big redhead makes it 39-22 on the three by Dallin Grant.
After that Team D triple, remember Dallin Grant only had 4 coming into the second half.
Snow Canyon down big. They need some O here. Morrison has it tipped away by the quick hands of Zab Santana, and they'll reset as Munson's got it.
This perimeter defense for Cedar has been so aggressive. They've been bodying any cutter. They've been fronting players. It's been hard to get past any of these guys.
Munson, crossover, stop moving the lane, and he draws the personal foul on Harrison. That'll be 3 on number 4 for Cedar.
And it's those type of plays that'll get you back into this ball game if you're Snow Canyon. The Cedar defense is so aggressive at this time that you kind of have to capitalize on that aggressiveness, whether it be drawing fouls, pump faking, letting them get in the air, because they're playing at a very high intensity right now as the first free throw goes down for Blake Munson.
Garrett and Munson for Cedar will check into the game. Checking out is Harrison and also Trayton Tebbs. One more coming for Munson for Snow Canyon. That's Blake Munson. And that one will not go. So the lead is 39-23. 3:15 to go here in quarter number 3, and a crossover by Grant and a reaching foul called on Morrison. Morrison makes his case, and Coach Cundy is going to roll the dice here. He's going to bring Lyman Simmons back in the game, realizing that this thing is close to getting away from Snow Canyon.
He has to. He's in a tough spot. You got Morrison, who tried to pick up Grant there, fouls him. You had Anderson Foreman, who tried to pick him up, fouls him. You got to go back to your main guy.
So Simmons with 3 fouls here halfway through the third quarter is back out on the floor. Grant will drive in, spin cycle, shoots it over Simmons and gets it up and good. Grant hasn't missed in a while.
And the best part about this game is Dallin Grant can score, but he hasn't been asked to be the scorer. There are games where Savage has more, Tebbs has more, but we know that Dallin Grant can turn it on when needed, and he just decided to flip a switch here.
Morrison gets it in the corner. 3 out of the corner by Lyon is up and no good. He wasn't on balance on that one. And Cedar can go up by 20 or 21. 3 is up and good by Savage, and it is 44-23. The visiting Reds are on a roll as timeout is taken on the floor. The three-pointer again by Gage Savage. Timeout on the floor. Full timeout. We'll take it. 2:34 on our one-loss scoreboard. It's 44-23.
Beyond the park you know exists a world you don't. A world that is greater. Greater than just one passion. Greater than just one adventure. Greater than just one moment. Come to where life is greater. Come to Greater Zion.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
Up in Region 10, Region 11 rather, Ridgeline is blowing out Logan. Those two teams were tied for second in that region. Skyview, the first place team, all over Mountain Crest, 70-38, and Green Canyon is beating Bear River 55-49. Looks like Skyview, Ridgeline are the class of that region as we look toward the postseason then.
No, they really are, and those are two teams that are very physical, not only against opponents but with each other. They're going to be representing Cache Valley when it's all said and done.
They're trying to get it into Simmons. The ball is tipped out of there. The quick hands of who else? Dallin Grant and Zab Santana. Simmons has not scored.
He's only attempted 2 shots too. Look at the athleticism that Cedar possesses on the perimeter. They're just the guards are quick, they're long, and they've really been able to bother the Snow Canyon players.
Catch and shoot. Will Warner can't get it to go. Rebound fought for. Simmons comes away with it. He is fouled by Grant. Probably, I think Simmons got away with an over the back on the original loose ball, but then that foul definitely on Grant, and that'll be 3 on Dallin.
Yeah, and at this point where you are up by about 21 now, 3 fouls is unfortunate. It's not the end of the world, but you can at least afford to sit him, whereas Snow Canyon couldn't afford to sit Simmons in that first quarter when he was in foul trouble.
Tebbs comes back in, but it'll be Santana guarding Lyman Simmons. Here comes the double team. Simmons kicks it out there, but before a shot can go, the foul on the pass. That is Zab Santana that picks up the personal, his second.
And I'm watching the face of Lyman out there, and it's clear that he's frustrated. Remember, just a sophomore himself.
Yeah.
Even with 19 point per game average, he's still got a lot of learning to do.
And a bumping foul called. Is going down with the ball as Lyon basically forced the official to either call a travel or a personal, and the foul is called on Trayton Tebbs, his second. And that is actually team foul number 7 now.
And we had 3 consecutive fouls in a row there.
Yeah, it went from 4 to 7 just like that, and that may be the saving grace for Snow Canyon. If they're going to get back into this game down 21, it might have to be from the line because they are in the bonus, and that first one by Lyon is good.
Snow Canyon attempts about 15 a game. They're well below that average right now. They attempted, if I'm not mistaken, 25 against Crimson Cliffs.
That is their 5th and 6th attempts in this game. Snow Canyon is 4 out of 6. Here comes a press. Pushing hard is Tebbs in the corner. Santana, stop and pop 3. Got it. Boy, everything's falling tonight for the Cedar Reds.
Yeah, Zab Santana's been waiting for that one to drop. He had 7 at half, none of those being a triple. Finally gets his first 3 to go down.
47-25, and there's a tip away. Race for the basketball. Getting there first is Munson, and a foul called on. When you get to the ball first on those types of situations, they're almost always going to call the second guy there.
Yeah, and it was close, I'll tell you what, but you got to give some props to Blake Munson for actually getting back down the floor. His team obviously down by a good chunk right now. It'd be easy maybe just to try to get back under the hoop and play defense, but he's able to chase it down, and now because of that, free throw opportunity upcoming.
Fouls on Aaron Munson of Cedar, so Blake Munson of Snow Canyon will go to the free throw line. It's a 22-point Cedar lead. Free throw good. Blake in the contest, 2 out of 3 in the half, 3 out of 5 in the game. And he has 8 points, now 9 points. And it's 47-27. Here comes the Snow Canyon press. It's kind of a man press. They might trap at half court if Cedar gives them time. They don't. Tebbs in the forecourt to Santana. Santana drives in the lane, kicks it back outside. They swing it around the horn now. Top of the key. Tebbs has it near half court. Backs away from trouble. Now pushes off offensively. And a foul called, I believe, on Lyon.
Yeah, Lyon and Will Warner both in the vicinity there. It does look like it is going to go to Will Warner.
22, not 2, gets the personal. First foul on Will, and team foul number 4, so no free throws just yet. 1:23 left, third quarter. Cedar has blown this thing open here in the quarter. They've scored 24-7 for Snow Canyon. Tebbs, hard drive all the way in the lane, kicks it out. Grant is out of the game, so somebody else has got to score for them, but they have a lot of scorers on this team.
Yeah, get Tebbs, Santana, Savage, any of those guys, even Munson right now.
And Tebbs wants to drive on Simmons, drives all the way in, shot up, count it, and foul number 4 on Lyman Simmons as they took him from about 15 feet out and crossed over on Simmons. Couldn't stay with Tebbs.
Well, and I'll tell you one thing. This game means a lot to this Red squad. Obviously, we talked about the loser going to 4-4 in region play, but looking at the emotion they play with, you can tell this is a team that's had their own hardships this year, who's had to deal with a specific set of setbacks. And honestly, they've played really well tonight, and you can see it in the emotion that they show. They're pumped about this lead right now.
Second three-point play of the quarter by Trayton Tebbs, and he now has 10 points in the game. And the lead is ballooned to 23 at 50-27. And, of course, Simmons with those 4 fouls will sit down. Had to roll the dice, but in the end, they figured they had to get him in the game. Munson, stop and pop, nice pass to Childs, but Childs has it blocked out of there by Harrison. Ahead to Santana. Santana leaves it reverse layup. What a play by Trayton Tebbs.
Wow. Tebbs with the finish and the ball movement to even get there in the first place. Cedar's been making some crisp passes tonight, but 2 of those were the cleanest of them all.
52-27. This has turned into a blowout. 3 out of the corner for Snow Canyon, well short. Lyon tries to fight for the rebound, but it's saved by Cedar instead. Zab Santana way up ahead to Tebbs, who lays it up and in. And it's 54-27, all Cedar in this one.
And another crisp pass, that time from Santana, flinging it over to Tebbs. And right now, Cedars has the confidence. Anytime that ball's coming off the rim, they're pushing, they're going.
Ball lost momentarily by Munson. He got it back. 3 at the buzzer is short. And the third quarter is 100% Cedar Reds as they turn this thing into a blowout. 8 minutes on the clock. We'll be back after this timeout. Cedar by 27.
Tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream. For the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not as they seem.
Art is long and time is fleeting, and our hearts, though stout and brave, still like muffled drums are beating, funeral marches to the grave. In the world's broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, be not like dumb-driven cattle, be a hero in the strife.
Lives of great men all remind us that our lives can be sublime, and departing, leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. Footprints that perhaps another, sailing over life's solemn main, a forlorn and shipwrecked brother, seeing, shall take heart again. Let us then be up and doing, with a heart for any fate. Still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait.
Well, who has the best record in the NBA? It's a team that is about 300 miles from here, the Utah Jazz. They're playing the Mavericks tonight. We'll give you a score update here in just a minute, but we start quarter number 4 here, Region 9 Wars. It is a blowout right now as Cedar keeps getting layups as Trayton Tebbs scores another one.
Well, to start the third quarter, they decided that the 3 ball was going to be their friend, and now anything Cedars wanted, they've been able to find inside. With Simmons off the floor, it's pretty much free game, and you can kind of tell the size discrepancy between these 2 squads right now with no Lyman Simmons.
56-27. Backing down is Morrison. He tries a scoop shot and a foul called either on the shot or the rebound. Let's see where the referee picks it out. They're going to say on the shot. They're going to call Grant for foul number 4. It's hardly really relevant at this point because of the score. But Grant is in danger of fouling out for the 2nd game in a row.
And I think he has that same understanding too, going for the block there on a little tough shot from Walker Morrison that probably would have went down either way as the first free throw's down.
Morrison does have 10 points in the game. He reaches double figures, the only Snow Canyon player to do that. Again, the story tonight, the defense by Cedar on Walker Simmons. Every time he touched the ball, well, first of all, he had a very physical Grant on him, and then when he started to make a move, the triple team came in a hurry.
No, it really did, and that's kind of been the story all night long. Has just been defense has been suffocating and collapsing, and it hasn't allowed much room for error.
56-29 is a foul call going the other direction, and Tebbs has come alive, hasn't he?
Tebbs has come alive, and really the Cedar team has come alive, but Trayton Tebbs is getting all these points. If you look at his statistics, all these points have basically come right around the rim. He's attacking, and even when he doesn't have the basketball and he's not attacking, he's moving off the ball, cutting to the rim, getting the pass to finish as the first free throw is in and out for Trayton Tebbs. We get a good look at it here. Nice little spin cycle from Tebbs. Goes to the right, spins back to the left, and draws the foul.
He has 16 in the game. Now 17 as he hits the free throw. That's his first miss. He's 4 out of 5 from the line. And it's 56-29. All Cedar in this one. You can tell they did not have a letdown from a double overtime loss against Desert Hills. You can also tell that this is a team that is very good when they're healthy. Long three shot no good by Walker Morrison. Rebound easily done by Cedar.
They're not even healthy tonight either. No Luke Armstrong in this ball game.
Don't have their big guy yet, and he would have been the guarding Simmons, but maybe that's a good thing in this case because Grant has done a great job on Simmons.
Grant has done a great job, and they've been able to stretch the floor out, which has just opened so much.
Catch and shoot three is up, no good by Cedar. New guy into the game, trying the three. That was number 5, Aaron Munson, as the pass tipped away. Aaron Munson has 10 threes this year, averages 5 a game. They thought that one was in. Everybody on the bench was up, but it was a little too long.
Checking in the game for Cedar 2 is Jacob Rogers.
Morrison tries a three. That's no good. Santana catches the rebound. Now they've got 1-on-2. Harrison leaves it for Tebbs. Who else? Johnny on the spot draws a personal foul.
Draws a personal foul, and when you say on the spot, that's about the same spot that we've seen on the last 5 possessions down the floor for Cedar.
All game long. Layups, and Tebbs will go to the line. Personal foul called on Lyon. First one is good. 2 fouls now on Isaac. Tebbs is having a fantastic second half. He had 4 at the half, but he now has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 in the second half for 19 in the game.
Add Tebbs' 19, add Santana's 10.
Munson tries a little acrobatic shot in traffic. It won't go for him. Cedar on the run. Savage with the pull-up 10-footer. That's up and good. His second basket of the game.
Yeah, Gage has been kind of asked tonight to facilitate, and he's been happy to do so, especially he has 47 points in the last 2 games, and tonight he's been more of a pass-first mentality, but he's hit big shots when they matter. Has a 3, has that mid-range right now for 5 points.
Stop and pop 3 for Will Warner. That shot is no good. Rebounding foul called on. Looks like Snow can. No, we're gonna stay here. Foul called on Cedar on the rebound, I believe on Harrison. Nope, they give it to Tebbs. Tebbs isn't perfect apparently because he got called for a foul. But boy, in the second half, he had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 in the third quarter. Now 5 here in the fourth quarter. And he almost, not single-handedly, but he has been very instrumental in turning this thing into a blowout as the free throw is up and no good by Morrison.
Well, it started with Dallin Grant having that attack mentality, whether it was pulling up from the perimeter or trying to get inside, and the rest of the team followed suit.
By the way, Snow Canyon after halftime has 1 field goal. Every other point they've scored, and it hasn't been many, has been on free throws. And going to the hole is Tebbs once again. Same spot, same result, personal foul. He'll go to the line.
Did you say free throws?
Yeah. Yeah. 2 more for Trayton. And he's good at them, too. He makes most of them. Foul is called on Munson. And a free throw is good.
Yeah, for Cedar, this is a team who attempts about 13.6 free throws a game. I'm sure they've already surpassed that here with 5 minutes, 42 seconds on our Nets on Fire clock.
By himself, he's 8 out of 9.
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10. 90% from the line for number 25, Trayton Tebbs.
He's a guy who likes that Fabulous Freddy's free throw line. Averages about 16 a game. Well, when they're not coming from deep or coming inside the paint, they're coming from that free throw line.
Simmons has it up high, goes inside to Anderson Foreman. Foreman gets a shot inside. Savage not wanting to score, let him have it. That's only their second field goal of the second half.
And Anderson Foreman averages about 0.2 points per game. Not a lot of buckets this year. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, that is going to be his 6th varsity point on the year, and he's officially outscored Lyman Simmons tonight.
Lyon anticipates, steals the ball, they get it up to Anderson Foreman, and he has it blocked out of there. Athletic move on the block shot by number 2, Jacob Rogers. Jacob, his dad is a well-known author. His older brother played for Cedar was a star wide receiver and basketball player. Lyon catch and shoot three. That is no good. Rebound as JV mostly out there now for Snow Canyon. Well, I got a couple of starters still on the floor, but a couple of young guys as well. The lead is 31 for Cedar. Wow. I said it. I still don't believe it. Santana crosses over Simmons. Baseline, handoff Savage. Easy reverse layup, and the lead is 33.
Right now, Snow Canyon is so concerned with the penetration Cedar is getting. They have two guys come up above the block, and Savage sneaks in from behind for the easy reverse lay-in.
Munson kicks it in the corner to Lyon. Fake the three. Now gets it back outside. Munson back to Lyon. Gets a screen from Simmons. Tries the three. That one's too far. No good. Offensive rebound, though, to the Warriors. Will Warner will try a shot. That's no good. Offensive rebound. How about Anderson Foreman with his, fourth varsity basket of the year?
Yeah, his fourth varsity basket of the year. 4 points in this game now. As Tebbs loses the ball, it's going to be picked up by Lyon down the floor. No-look pass, and it's going to go out of bounds, trying to find Will Warner.
You and I always say about a no-look pass. Probably should have looked. Because
in that case, it might have been beneficial.
A little too far ahead of his teammate, and so a turnover. 65-34 with under 4 minutes now left in the contest on our one-loss scoreboard. It is all Cedar. Simmons way out high guarding Santana. And here comes a double team. And a kick into the corner. Three out of the corner is up way too long. Missed it by 2 feet on an air ball. And Snow Canyon the other way. Munson will stop for a three. That one is good. And Snow Canyon cuts it to 28. I guess that's good news. Still way down, but a nice looking shot by Blake Munson.
And I kind of imagined that Munson would get more shot opportunities here, but that hasn't been the case as he knocks down that three.
Let's thank a sponsor. We want to thank the Scott Udy, or the Luke Udy team, if you want to read that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Luke Udy is sponsoring our play-by-play this year. Shopping for insurance isn't as fun as watching your favorite team win. I know Cedar fans are having a fun time tonight. Until you save a ton of money on home, auto, or life insurance, call Luke Udy today, 435-251-9102. That's 435-251-9102.
Have so many great sponsors that get us on the air, and you love them because they don't sponsor Andy, they don't sponsor Rustin, they don't sponsor even the station. They sponsor these teams and these kids. Give them a little credit, get them on the air. We also appreciate our gang at CEC TV. We got a group of great guys running the cameras, and of course Marcus Farnsworth in charge of it all. Thanks so much to them. It's blowout time here in Snow Canyon. The Warriors will lose their second straight home game. This one a 65-37 lead for Cedar. Tebbs kicks it in the corner as Cedar trying to play out the string now. They've got the win secure. Grant is back into the game with 4 fouls. Simmons in the game with 4 fouls. Skip a pass across. Savage for 3. No good. Rebound jumped around and finally taken down by the Warriors. They've got numbers. Warner can't get a shot away though. Now he drives in, keeps the dribble alive. Good job on the angle left. Looking for a screen from Simmons. He got it. Now out high to Anderson Foreman, around the horn to Lyon. Lyon drives in the lane, lost it out of bounds. Somebody got a piece of it, and then he dribbled it off of his leg and out.
And, you know, we've talked about it a couple of times, but looking back over there at the Intermountain Sports Medicine table, Blade is still receiving attention. He hasn't left. He's been on that table all night long. And at one moment, looked like it was taped, like he was going to try to re-enter, then had ice. They've certainly missed his scoring punch.
Ball stolen away as a baseline pass is picked up by Snow Canyon. Warner drives all the way to the baseline, and he is bumped and will go to the line for 2 because they are in the double bonus. Personal foul on Cedar's number 2. That is Jacob Rogers. And Will Warner will go to the line. 2:30 on the clock, 65-37. Cedar blowing them out. We'll try and get you some score updates as we get them. They've been really hard to come by tonight. Most games we thought were going to be blowouts. We thought this game was not going to be a blowout. This game right now is a blowout.
It really is. I mean, this is the game that everyone had circled, but you could tell this was a Reds team that was hungry, wanted to come out tonight and prove something after being one of the more unlucky squads this year, and they've certainly proved something. Remember, this Snow Canyon squad, this is the only team that's beat Dixie all year long.
Ball tipped out of bounds on the baseline tip-off by Rogers and company. It'll go back to Cedar High. 65-39, 2:17 left. even with the three-point shot, that's probably a little too big of an ask to down 26 with a couple of minutes left. Grant traveled and got fouled at the same time. Referee said the foul came first. And Dallin Grant will go to the line for, I believe that's 9 team fouls, so it'll be a true 1-and-1.
Good look at it here. Looks like Warner's going to hop up, saying they got him with a little bit of an arm bar before Grant spun back towards the basket. And
That's 3 on Will Warner, by the way.
We're still trying to get you some scores for Hurricane at Dixie, Crimson Cliffs at Pineview, and then, of course, Canyon View at Desert Hills. One thing we do know, Utah leads 37-16 over the Dallas Mavericks. Second time they played them. And Joe Ingles has passed John Stockton for most three-pointers made in Jazz history.
Wow. 2 things there. I didn't know Stockton led it. I thought maybe it would have been Hornacek or Brian Russell. And the second thing, hey, way to go, Joe Ingles.
Yeah, Jinglin' Joe. I think Hornacek would be the easy pick, but I think Stockton's time in Utah, where it outweighed so much, the totals. Hornacek shot it better, but he wasn't there near as long.
Of course, the one everyone remembers with, oh, nice move by Anderson Foreman inside over the flying defense, cuts it to 65-41. Everyone remembers the game winner against Houston that sent the Jazz to the NBA Finals. Anderson Foreman has 6 points here in the fourth quarter. And the other end, Gage Savage starting to get warmed up a little bit. Savage now with 9 points, as it's 67-41. Inside they get to Simmons, and he dunks it for his very first points of the night. They come with 1:25 left.
And right now, Cedar's defense easing up a little bit, but for Simmons, 2 points now. That's what we wanted to see all night long, as Grant loses the basketball.
Yeah, Grant, a little too much dribbling. The double team came, and they were able to tip it away. And Snow Canyon with a long three. It is blocked, going out hard, and getting the block shot for Cedar is number 5, Aaron Munson. And Cedar will walk it up with under a minute left now, a 67-43 advantage. Nice little cut by Munson, and he gets a lefty layup across and in front of Simmons for his basket.
We talk about Santana and his scoring ability, but he's had at least 3-4 passes that I can think of tonight that have been phenomenal. The court vision to sling that in there and finish.
Good pump fake, and the shot is missed by Childs. Gets his own rebound and puts it back in for his second bucket.
Brent Childs out there stat padding.
22 seconds left and a turnover. Or no, they're going to call a foul on Snow Canyon. Childs picks up the personal, peeking up stats. That is his 3rd personal. And more free throws coming with 22 seconds left in a blowout. All Cedar, 69-45. We didn't see this coming. I thought Cedar had a good chance to get a road win, but not like this.
No, it's for the Reds in particular, you have to give so much credit. The offense, of course, they're up around 70 points, right below their season average by 3. Munson looking to make that by 2. But it's the defense tonight that's been so impressive. They've been swarming. They've been everywhere, and the shots weren't falling. The defense kept them ahead.
Munson gets 1 out of 2, but then Childs turns it over, dives on the basketball. How about the effort for Brenton Childs? Gets away outside to Blake Munson. Munson gets a screen from Lyman Simmons. Simmons was setting up for a 3, and the ball is off the back of the backboard, or the bottom of the backboard, and out of bounds with 2 seconds left. 70-45. Cedar's going to win this one by probably, 25 as they let the clock run out. There's your final gun, 70-45, all Reds on this night. And again, I'll comment, I thought Cedar had a chance to get a road win. I didn't think they had a chance to get a road blowout like this.
We saw all night tonight that the Reds were hungry. They were determined. This is a team who's had some pretty poor luck, had some injury history, some COVID-19 protocol situations, and finally they feel like in the second part of Region 9 that they can actually come out and play their brand of basketball, and that's 100% what they did tonight. Roster-wise, Cedar is one of the most talented teams in Region 9. Region 9 record-wise, that hasn't shown yet, but I think we're seeing a turning point right now for the Reds, because this is a team that puts up about 70, 75 every single night, and if they're going to hold squads to 45, 50, or under, it's going to be really tough to stop this squad.
Got a score. We'll give you a score, and then we'll go to timeout. How about that? Dixie wins, but, man, it was not easy. The Flyers missing Finlinson and missing Jeffrey Cox hold off Hurricane by a final 56-52. Thanks to Roger Christensen for passing along some scores as, man, a tough battle for the Dixie Flyers. It was not a tough battle here for Cedar. They win it big, 70-45. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, our Johnson Pediatric postgame show is coming up. Andy and Rustin, we'll see you in 2.
There's a rush coming.
Well, let's rush best 9 plays from last week in Region 9. Number 1 better be good.
One-handed grab, and Luke Wright is going to score a touchdown on one of the better grabs you'll ever see in high school football.
Lawrence, are you going to do anything, or are you just going to sit there?
This is Henry Bouchard, Cape Girardeau, Missouri. I never found a customer base more in need of fine American-made sucking power than I found up and down the Wasatch Front in the mid-1980s.
There's one thing coaches love, it's media guys telling them how good or bad their team is.
My pick for the 4A state championship this year when it comes to football is the Stansbury Stallions.
Give me a break. This isn't a contest about who can shovel the most corn silage. I like Pine View.
Radio Dixie 91.3. Young the Giant, something to believe in.
John, what song do you want to hear? Next, Miss Calendris. You'll be on the SWAT team, the best SWAT team. That's a fantastic situation. I should talk to you. I was going to talk to you last time.
Welcome back. Postgame here brought to you by Johnson Pediatric Dentistry. See why so many friends are referring their friends to Johnson Pediatric Dentistry. The phone number for Johnson Pediatric Dentistry is 628-0511. Ask for the new patient special. Let's do this. Let's jump into highlights first off with our CEC crew. If you want to take over and kind of talk about those a little bit.
Absolutely. With Dallin Grant, the third quarter, Cedar took over in an unprecedented way. There it's Grant getting it started with a step back 3. A little bit of ball movement leads to Harrison hitting his second 3 of the ball game. And this is where Cedar really started to pull ahead. Tebbs getting inside. That would later be his spot throughout the entirety of the second half. That right block finishing Grant. Another 3 right in the face of Lyman Simmons. Snow Canyon would try to get a couple points on the board as Walker Morrison with a spin and lay-in. And then we get another Dallin Grant 3. That was a big storyline as he flashes the 3-point symbol down the floor. Santana would have one in the second half as well, all coming off fantastic Cedar ball movement. And then Tebbs doing what he did best all night long, putting his shoulder down, going to the rack, and finishing strong. That time it's Santana with a nice little pass inside to Tebbs, who finishes. And then how about another Santana to Tebbs connection? The two really had it going on in the second half. Gage Savage, a little bit of pop and pull as Santana drives, gets Simmons to come up, gets Warner to come up. A nice little bounce pass to Gage Savage, who had snuck beneath. Anderson Foreman with an offensive rebound, put back finish for the Warriors. He would later, he'd go on to have 6. Blake Munson with his only 3 of the second half. Another Anderson Foreman finish. He hangs in the air, waits for Munson to go by, and then finishes. And here was Lyman Simmons' only 2 points of the night, a 2-hand stuff off a baseline cut. On the other side of things, we would see Munson finish for the Cedar Reds, and then Brenton Childs get his own rebound and put it back up and in. He would finish with 4. Those are our highlights, courtesy of CEC TV. And you know what I saw a lot of there? A lot of fantastic ball movement. Some of those threes were tough, contested specifically from Dallin Grant, but the Reds scored at will because they were willing to share the basketball, because they were willing to push the pace. And Snow Canyon, who is the #1 defense in Region 9 as of going into tonight, that may not stand after games against the Mustangs at Crimson Cliffs and now the Cedar Reds, but they really got wherever they wanted on the floor. If it wasn't coming from beyond the arc, they'd drive and kick until they'd find something on the baseline, or we just have Tebbs put his shoulder down and go to the rack. So a night very much in the favor of Cedar. And this was a 3-point game at halftime, to give you a little bit of context at how well Cedar was able to adapt.
Yeah, Snow Canyon, I thought Ruston did a great job defensively in the first half. Problem is they couldn't get buckets, and when you shut down your superstar, Lyman Simmons, here's a guy that averages 20 points a game. He had 0 at halftime. He had 0 after 3 quarters and ended up with just 1 basket for 2 points. That tells you that they're going to struggle scoring the basketball, because when he scores, it opens everything up. When he's not scoring, well, offensively, they were just really struggling tonight.
They really were, and for Snow Canyon fans, for Region 9 fans who are looking for a recap of this game, absolutely no offense whatsoever to Caleb Anderson Foreman, who had a fantastic game, but Caleb Anderson Foreman outscored Lyman Simmons by 4 points tonight. That's your story of the ball game for the Warriors. And it doesn't help. Simmons is struggling. He's out of rhythm, and then Lincoln Pilatus goes down early in the first quarter trying to contest a shot, lands on his left ankle kind of awkwardly, and he ends up sitting over there on the performance table all night long. It just wasn't meant to be. Snow Canyon couldn't find the offensive firepower they needed to hang with the Cedar squad.
All right, I'm going to go over the scoring and Wilkinson's stat line here in the post game. If you want to maybe listen in and figure out, Russ, and who will be our dad's trekking players of the game, we'll work on that. A couple of other scores. I know Desert Hills has emerged victorious.
Yes.
Dixie has emerged victorious. I haven't heard anything on Crimson Cliffs yet. We'll get that for you during the Region 9 wrap-up show. All right, scoring for the homestanding Warriors. They only scored 45. 2 guys in double figures. 12 for Blake Munson. He had 2 threes and made 4 out of 6 from the line. 11 in the game for Walker Morrison. He had 2 first-half threes to help keep them in the game. Ended up with 2 threes, 3 out of 4 from the line for his 11 points. 8 points for Isaac Lyon off the bench. Lyon hit a couple of threes in the first half, but only had 2 free throws after halftime. 6 points rather for Caleb Foreman. Anderson Foreman, all 3 field goals in the fourth quarter. 4 points for Brenton Childs, both of them on offensive putbacks. A bucket for 2 for Will Warner, and then I think perhaps maybe the story of the night, Lyman Simmons, who averages 19.7 points a game, had 1 dunk late in the fourth quarter in garbage time for his only 2 points of the night.
It was, I don't know how else to say it, but it was a very poor offensive showing from a Snow Canyon squad. And when you look at them on the season, they put up about 60 points per game. They're not scoring around what Hurricane or Canyon View. They're not that poor of a scoring team, but injuries, confidence issues, whatever it may be, tonight was pretty tough. And a lot of those points down towards the end came from the free throw line. You talked about start of the fourth quarter, how they had only made 1 field goal up to that point. And we can talk about Snow Canyon maybe struggling offensively, but I think we got to give all that credit to the Reds defense. I think they came out and performed better than we thought they were going to. On the season, Cedar gives up about 61 points a game, and they were just on a different level. They were physical out on the perimeter. It started on the perimeter. We talk about Simmons inside, but a lot of bumping, banging between guys like Tebbs and Harrison, I really think set the tempo.
All right, scoring for the victorious Reds. Now, you want to talk balance. Snow Canyon had 2 guys with 9 points or more. Cedar with 5 guys with 9 points or more. 9 for Gage Savage, who had 30 the other night. 9 for Ty Harrison. And then 10 points for Zeb Santana. 7 of those in the first half. 17 for Dallin Grant. He had 3 3-pointers in the third quarter and ended up 4 out of 6 from the line. The star of the night, though, for this Cedar team, Trayton Tebbs, had 4 at halftime. 17 second-half points, was 9 out of 10 from the free throw line. Didn't even try a three-pointer. Didn't need it. He was going to the rack all game long as Tebbs ends up with 21 points to lead Cedar in scoring. By the way, 5 points for Aaron Munson And that was the only other score for the Cedar Reds, but they win at 70-45. Let's talk dad striking players of the game now for Snow Canyon. Anybody want to choose out Snow Canyon? Maybe how about Anderson Foreman coming off the bench and scoring 6 points, huh?
Yeah, that's who I was going to go with. Just in these types of games, you have to take away whatever positives you can find. And tonight, that was Anderson Foreman. Came into this 4 points at the varsity level, not a ton of playing time. He gets extended run tonight with Simmons in foul trouble, Pilatus injured. And he puts up 6 points. Not only did he put up 6 points, these weren't little gimmies. He had a nice little one where he hung in the air and had to finish. He had another one in particular off an offensive rebound. I think for Snow Canyon, that's a positive sign and something you can build on for someone who might get a little bit more run as the season continues onward.
Player of the game, I think it's an easy one for Cedar. I think Trayton Tebb's second half guaranteed he was going to be our Dats Trucking POG. He was phenomenal.
He absolutely was. And the thing is, the scoring came wherever he wanted and however he wanted. It really makes him the easy pick.
Our Hearst State's Hardware, by the way, Dats Trucking again, players of the game for Cedar. It was Trayton Tebbs for Snow Canyon off the bench. A nice effort by Caleb Anderson Foreman. Let's see. I want to let's do our other awards. AWP Playmaker Play of the Game, and a couple of those threes by Dallin Grant were spectacular. Where he just challenged it, crossover, back up, boom, bottom of the net. They weren't lucky shots; they were bottom of the well.
They were, and we oftentimes always look for the dunk. That seems to be the spectacular play. We look at the fancy passes, but Dallin Grant, he's known for being a basketball player, not necessarily a three-point shooter first, but that's what got the Reds fired up at the beginning of the second half. Is he went in fuego from the three-point line for this Cedar team, and I think that's a good play to pick for our Appliance Wholesalers Plus Playmaker of the game, play of the game, because that's what got this Reds team on their feet and kind of got the offense clicking at a different level.
Our AWP Playmaker Play of the Game brought to you by Appliance Wholesalers Plus. It's easier than you think to buy direct and save at Appliance Wholesalers Plus, the #1 playmakers in the appliance business. They're open to the public across the freeway from the Bloomington Walmart. It's AWP. All right, we don't have our Holbrook Asphalt Big Score dessert in for Snow Canyon, but Cedar got there, right?
Yeah, Cedar got there.
Go to Yogurtland tonight. Get your first 5 ounces free. A Holbrook Asphalt Big Score dessert. Again, the free yogurt at Yogurtland, courtesy of Holbrook Asphalt and the Big Score dessert. Real quick, we're going to wrap things up from here, say goodbye to our TV audience, and then we'll come back and have the Region 9 wrap-up show. Desert Hills wins 69-37. It was Dixie, a 4-point win against Hurricane, 56-52. Did we get a final yet on Pineview and
yeah, so it actually looks like Crimson Cliffs is going to win this game. Well, they won this game 80-62, being your final for the Mustangs. They're going to continue to move up the Region 9 standings, now 6-2 in region play. 6-2,
yeah, good call. Crimson hoping to contend for a region championship and ultimately a state championship. That'll wrap it from here. Thanks to our CEC crew for getting us on the air. We will reestablish a connection on KDXU and bring you the Region 9 wrap-up show. When we come back, we'll have a report on the Jazz during the wrap-up show, as well as all the Region 9 scores and other scores from throughout the state of Utah. Again, Cedar wins at 70-45 for Ruston Burnside. I'm Andy Griffin, wishing you a good night from the jungle at Snow Canyon High.